online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, wait for it. You know what that noise means, that sound, that amazing song. That means we are here again at AFTERBUZZ TV doing an after show for CNN's High Profits.
Yep.
We're here at episode 6, Sneaky Smart. Most amazing docuseries I've ever participated in watching and talking about.
Yeah,
How about
definitely.
you?
I love it. And it's so educational for me. So
Yeah.
and for everybody, but really smart.
That is the voice of my lovely co-host Andrea, who's here with us. And where can people tweet at you if they'd like to during this show?
You guys can tweet at me at Andrea Fasano, and I'm on Instagram, Periscope, and Snapchat too.
Yeah, well, all that later. Now
All that.
we want tweets now. We want to
Yeah.
know what you people are thinking. You guys can tweet at me. I am Stef Z with an F. Also, we love bringing you guys this show. We love your comments. We love your interaction. We do read all of them. What we ask from you guys is if you get a chance to go to podcastone.com and there's a little survey on there. You can tell us how we're doing. You can give some more feedback, any other comments, questions. It really helps us make sure that we're bringing you a great show, and that is our goal. So if you get a chance, again, go to podcastone.com and give us some more feedback.
That'd be good, especially for a show like this. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, let us know what you're thinking, because it's a little different than the other AfterBuzz.
Yeah, it'd be
after
super
shows.
awesome. Okay, let's get right into it. I'm still on my high from Catherine being here last week.
I'm so jealous, Catherine. I know you're going to be watching this. I am so sorry I missed you.
Yeah, she was awesome, and I was actually, lucky enough to have some time with her after the show and
That's
actually
awesome.
get to know her more as a person. And she's an amazing person, Catherine. Thanks again for coming. We love your support.
Yeah.
We love all the support we've been getting for this show. A lot of people
Totally.
have been, starting the conversation and involving us in the conversation, which is super duper awesome. So let's get right into this.
Let's dive.
We start this episode at the Oak Creek, club, the new space,
Yes.
Brian and Caitlin's new space, and we see Brian. I'm
Struggling.
feeling a little confused. We see struggle,
Yeah.
but we see him, saying there's no money, eating, that thing that you would eat when
Lunchables?
Lunchables,
Is it
yeah,
lunch-
something like that, that you would eat.
He's
and
like, he's like 5th grade. I feel
Right,
like I'm in
right,
5th grade.
exactly. And I understand times are tight, but I don't know. I feel like, is it really that tight? And, for him to be doing all that work, is it really that smart that he's not taking care of himself? That's where I go, and I don't know if that's,
Well, I don't know. I think, first of all, to be a business that they're trying to make it as big as it is, maybe. I mean, clearly he's doing a lot of the work himself, which is funny in itself compared to what Caitlin complains and cries about as far as the business aspect.
But I
He's
can
doing-
appreciate that because as a business owner, if you do it all yourself, you know exactly. Like if
You're-
he
well, you're
hired
involved.
somebody else,
Right.
and they were not passing inspection time
Exactly.
after time, he'd be like, "What am
What-
I paying you for?"
Yep.
Now he knows.
So that would be wasted money and also wasted time. But yeah, he's hands-on. But I think it's also great because he is saving money by doing
Right.
it himself. And then he only has himself to blame if they're not
Right.
up to par with the time frame for the regulations of the building.
Yeah, I just don't want to see
But
him,
it- but
pass
yeah,
out.
you-
I think
you're
I
so
think he
worried
needs
about
a,
him.
I'm connected to him.
I
I
know
care
you are.
about him, Brian. I care about you. I want you to be
Yeah.
healthy. You got
But
a
I
lot
think
ahead of
that's
you.
Smart. I mean, it's interesting to see him so hands-on. I didn't even know he had it in him to do that kind of
Oh, I saw
that
I
kind
saw
of
that
work,
in
the
him.
contractual work, and so it's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, first of all, any contractor, they don't leave to take lunch. Like, they have it there. So whether he
Yeah.
went to Subway and got a sandwich or is eating his Lunchables, it's kind of the same
I mean,
thing.
I feel like Caitlin maybe could have brought him lunch.
there you go.
Just saying. No, but it is. It
She's
is.
always cooking.
I know.
In this episode, we see a lot of her cooking. I'm like, that's great. It's probably therapeutic for her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot to get into what's happening with their relationship. But, trying to stay about this, new grow house for a minute, I feel like there's a lot of things in this for me. And we talked about this right before we went on air. I do think Brian is very smart. Something that stood out to me as a red flag of Brian being a new business owner in this episode was the fact that he actually thought the inspectors would clear a room rather than a building.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, well, I kind of was expecting maybe this piece could get cleared so that we can start making business. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't really work like that, dude. And I was like,
he knows the
you
regulations
think it
for
would
everything, his
work like
business
that?
and everything, and you don't know the regulations for your building, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like, you know, showing, and I like that it shows that as tough and as cocky that Brian can be, there is some flaws in him as well. And maybe it's his optimism, but clearly I would think, you know, as a business owner, that if you had to have a building pass inspection, they wouldn't be like, okay, well, that part's not up, this one is. We're gonna, you know, this little piece is, and we're gonna trust that you're not gonna go into this piece. You're only gonna use the piece that it, like, that just seemed really wonky to me.
I mean, I agree, but it's the kind of thing where maybe he's not the super builder that we are seeing him try to be, and then it's just, there's holes in, you know what I mean, in everyone's plan. And
I think, too, one of the things that also could be, because again, Brian, I love you, is I feel like it's just, he's so overwhelmed.
Oh, way.
And that's not an excuse, you know, like, I feel like when you create a business, everyone's overwhelmed. And that's one of the things that I was, you know, I don't know that I feel like I disagreed with Caitlin when she made the statement that this business is harder than starting any other business in the car when she was driving.
She doesn't know that because she never started another
Yeah,
business.
I feel like, and one of the reasons why I love this show so much, and I feel that this is a show that starts the conversation, is because it's very relatable. So any person that's ever been in business can relate to these growing pains. Different ingredients, different answers that are needed, but growing pains are growing pains. And a lot of their problems are kind of champagne problems. They had these problems because they made a lot of money in the beginning and they didn't really maybe know exactly how to allocate it for knowing what would happen in the future.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a little bit, I didn't really agree with that statement.
I just think that if anything, it's what we see and know that, yes, this is a new empire or a new entrepreneurship business, but like you're saying, with any business, there are problems and issues, and you go through the growing pains of that. So it's, like I said, she hasn't done another business, and this is a huge undertaking. So cool, credit where credit's due, but she's young.
And for the most part, she's, you know, I mean, I like her. I like who she's being. I feel that, you know, she's definitely more emotional, which, you know, I feel like it's easy for us to poke fun or blame her for crying and doing stuff and acting the way she is. But to look at the flip side of that, she's actually just being vulnerable and real. Yeah. And that's how it occurs for her. Some people get frustrated. Some people work harder. Some people break down. And for her, she's showing that vulnerability. And again, it's usually the path that you feel like you wouldn't want to pick yourself because it's a paralyzing path. But I like that we're getting to see that too.
Well, there was one part in this show where she didn't cry a lot in this show. I saw your guys' show from last time, and she did a lot of that in episode 5. Yeah. But then she's crying. He walks in and he hugs her, and I felt like from a production standpoint, that was pretty cool that she's not an actor and she would allow us to capture her being that vulnerable. Right. I thought that was pretty great because you're right. I mean, and she is a 20-something-year-old girl.
She's 25, yeah.
You know, this is a huge thing, and it's an amazing thing, and it's so successful, but like, it's a little overwhelming. You know what I mean? So I liked that she doesn't shy away from the camera with that and letting us see that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I also, you know, I don't feel 100% clear as a viewer as to knowing what her original plan was. For you know, herself. they've been in this business for 5+ years. Right. It's becoming clear that because of Brian's past, like we talked about last week, that he couldn't get this license to be an owner. So she did it because they were a couple and they decided to do it as a team. Yeah. So did she think that he would have got it sooner? Like, we don't know if she's like, we don't know if she thought it would play different and she's already overextended herself to what she thought she'd signed up for. I don't feel 100% clear in that.
Right. Well, I agree. And it's only been not even a year so far into this docuseries. So yes, they've been at it for years before, but
Right.
you know, agreed. But my favorite part was when after that moment, she was leaning against the counter and said, you know, there's more things I want to do with my life than work. And I was like,
Yeah, I
amen,
wrote that down.
sister, because who doesn't? But
you're
you kidding?
25.
Are you kidding me? Caitlin, I love you. I love that you're allowed to do this. But I was like, and not only, I want to know what else she wants to do. But I don't think she maybe even meant it that way.
I don't think she meant it that way either. I feel like it was a little bit out of context.
But
and the way that we were
comment
set up for that,
Yeah.
I literally wrote the same thing down too.
But yeah, it was awesome. I was like, you're 25 and there's more things you want to do with your life. We all do, but like you have to work.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
that
hear
was
you.
hilarious.
I do feel maybe that it was set up. It was kind of lobbed in for us to hit that one out of the park.
I know.
But yeah, I feel the same way. I was like, really, 25? You're done working? All right,
awesome.
cool. Peace. Good luck with that.
Such a good plan.
So we do see, you know, that Brian gets the license application approved from the EMD. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, we've only got 2 episodes left. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we do see that break between Brian and Caitlin or not. I'm really curious to see what happens in that scenario.
Right.
I wonder, do you think, I mean, I don't know that if the application is approved, the paperwork takes, how long the paperwork takes,
Right.
I guess.
I don't know.
So
I have to say, I know I missed 5, but in episode 5, I thought it was a really clear wear and tear on their actual relationship over
Right.
just the company relationship, the partnership. So then in 6 to see that they're like kind of okay, that's good. But I don't know, because a lot can happen there.
Yeah, I give them a lot of credit.
Me too.
I mean, again, we see the ups and downs and we don't know their life, but to start a business with someone that you're in a relationship with is a hard
And
task.
I'll give it to her again. The emotions gotta come out through that too.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's
She's keeping
so
it
hard.
real,
She
and
really
I
is.
appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the grow house. The other thing that I wanted to talk about the grow house is we see a lot of what I really liked about this episode is I feel like we were actually educated on marijuana. I feel like we were educated on the trim, on different ways that it can be used, the wax, how long it takes. And
I never even heard of wax before this episode. You can make fun of me. Go ahead. Bring it on, guys.
No,
I
it's
didn't.
okay.
And then actually last weekend, somebody said something to me about wax. I was down in San Diego and I was like, oh my God, you know what that is too? And they were like,
You are
yes,
hilarious.
Andrea, it's okay. I was like, oh, okay.
But it's the interesting part to me is one of the first times that we meet Sonny. We see him, you know, Sonny the bud tender. We see him, and at the end of the episode, and this is when we had Lizzie on the episode. At the end of the episode is when he's like smoking that like spider bong with a bunch of people. So it was almost like from the beginning, I don't feel like I gave him enough credit
for who
for
he is.
his brilliance. He's really educated.
Yeah, he really, but he's also passionate. This is his
This is
dead
passionate.
on
And
passion
Jeff
in
too.
life.
They all are very passionate and educated, which again puts me back into that category. If there's gonna be someone on Main Street, these people are so educated and they've been through the ringer. So why wouldn't you want the people that are so aware of what they need, like what rules, quote unquote, they need to follow in order to stay there? Because again, it just keeps showing me that this is a classy organization.
Right.
I mean, the word classy is different to every person. I understand that, but it's not.
Everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah, it's not just a bunch of stoners looking up online how to grow weed. But like they really know.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that even that girl, she, one of the workers there, she was explaining how the average bud has like 12% THC and then the wax and all those other ones have like 88.
Right.
Which, and then that led into a little scene or cut of people talking about, again, doses and how if you don't know, and everything with the firemen, like how you don't know what you're really taking or what's good enough for you and that kind of thing. That's the only part that scares me with this business. But when you are talking to people that do know how much is in each piece or whatever you're buying, then you do feel well educated and maybe you won't overdose. And Sonny, wait, really quick, did you hear when Sonny goes, I tried to
overdose and I slept for 17 hours.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I think that Colorado being set up the way it is way ahead of the game than California. For example, I've heard that in California, they don't have the, like, you can't walk in Colorado. You can walk into any shop and ask the percentage of THC, and they'll know the answer. In California, they don't.
Do they have to know the answer in Colorado?
I would
maybe
guess.
they're just more
I would
educated.
guess so, because it's regulated.
Regulated. You're right.
And they don't know that here, you know, in California, even though there is
Even
medicinal
though
marijuana.
I was just gonna say that
No.
I would want that to be 10 times more regulated than recreational.
And also, the way that they handle the cannabis weed is very different, in the fact where it's more of a food industry standards in Colorado, where people wear gloves, hairnets, you know, and in California you can go down to Venice Beach and they'll put their fingers and just take your piece and give it to you, which is interesting, because I would have never thought. Yeah, I would have walked in there and it's a plant, you wouldn't think that, but that's what you're putting in your butt. It's very interesting that that's part of it. Yeah.
Like, with how many dispensaries that California, or let's go there, Venice Beach has alone, how is there not some sort of regulation on that?
Yeah. Well, I guess, you know, it's all a tricky situation.
I wouldn't think that, though. I wouldn't have known that, like, Colorado was so treating it, like you said, as the food industry.
Yeah,
so
they really are, which is good to know. You know, again, the thing with the firemen that stuck out for me is it was a little bit, I understand what they're saying, that people, you know, you can't really overdose on weed, and people, I mean, you can get messed up or whatever, but people, it takes the firemen away from serious calls. But you know what? So do drunk drivers. Yeah. You know, so do people that, you know, I feel like that was a very, the way that they pointed that out to me, it got me a little bit angry. There's a lot of people that probably panic in a situation that is not life-threatening. I mean, I guess drunk driving can be life-threatening, so they should call the police. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But that's someone creating a mess that's unnecessary. But I feel like, you know, I don't feel like every call that the police go out on is a life or death call. So I feel like that was just singling out marijuana, when there's probably a lot of things that call and take them away from things that could be serious. And also, they should be smart enough to know that if they get a more serious call, that they should tend to that. So I felt like that was a little bit forced, that feeling, or a little bit ignorant, maybe is the right word.
To say. The only thing with that is because I
get it, but in the same sense.
I definitely heard him say that, and I'm glad you commented on it. But it's funny because I got it. But mind you, I come from a really big fire department family.
Oh, geez.
Like, on Long Island.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All in Syosset.
Sorry,
What's up,
I went
guys?
to the firehouse dances.
Well, everything happened at the firehouse. But I was like, I'm going to get married at the firehouse. Like, that's how I grew up. But I mean, and they're volunteers. So I do get that. And a lot of times it's like car accidents and you know, like fires are obviously the most intense. But I have to say that that's the only thing he said that I could say is negative, because they were pretty honest about the fact that it's not a big deal. That, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't take that comment that bad, but I got it.
Yeah.
And understand, again, if it's a small town, but say large over an area, like, you know, I can't think of the word, but just vicinity. And there's only one fire department, maybe, for Breck.
Oh, there's got to be more than one.
I don't know, because I don't know how large it is. But if they only have a certain amount of trucks or manpower, then you never know, like, what the seriousness of that is.
I'm just saying, to single out that marijuana is something that takes fire away from serious situations is
Grandma
not
and Grandpa
really
are hovering in the corner.
Which is a hilarious visual, but it's not the only thing that does that. So it was like they almost had a full positive review of it, and it's not that bad, but they had to throw that one thing in that was like, but that's why we don't want it in Breck. So
I mean, I was surprised that they came from the angle of support, basically. Like, it's not a big deal. We don't have that many calls in 6 months. You know, I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah. No, I was surprised by that a little bit too. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Let's get to some more.
There's like some meaty stuff.
I know.
Here.
I'm leaving the meat.
I'm leaving
the meat. I want to get through all the rest because I know we're going to stay on the meat. You know, we see. Let's go through some of the town council members. We see Elizabeth again, who I feel that she is now sitting in a place of she's questioning her decision.
Yeah.
Saying, where was my spine? And not that it would have changed the vote necessarily, because it would have just been 2.
One other, right, exactly.
But to her, it's resonating that she failed herself in a way. That's super dramatic, but she didn't follow her gut.
Yeah, which I will say about this, Elizabeth, I enjoy that she went there with herself and
too.
On camera and was like, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have backed down or let these people bully me. And I love that she approached that and kind of was truthful with herself.
Yes.
About that, because I don't think a lot of us can be, or a lot of those guys even on the board, they're sticklers and they're very with it. Their beliefs, they just go all through with them. But she wavered, which is a whatever, wishy-washy is a thing. But for her to come back and say that, I thought that was a big deal.
No, I agree with you.
And pretty big of her. But then you're like, nothing we could do now.
No, and I don't know. Maybe there is something she can do. Maybe she'll become part of this campaign to help. But I don't know.
She was saying Brian's not even doing anything about it, so she can't help them.
Yeah, I was
going to
go there. Yeah, which is very interesting.
Conceded.
Yes.
Which I thought was huge. It was a 2-second clip, but she was even like, I have to go with whatever. I mean, she's the lone wolf right now.
Yeah. Which I give her credit for that. I really give her credit for that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it is again, now we go to Brian. We'll look at this real quick and then we'll come back to it about Brian and the campaigning, how Elizabeth says something about it. Is it that he's, at this point in the game, does it resonate with you that he's doesn't want to campaign or that he's overwhelmed and can't?
I think, and I'm going to go here.
Do it.
Because you've said Brian's smart, and you've been a big fan. And I've been trying to just carefully watch him and see where his opinions and his business takes him. I think that he's trying to outsmart everyone in the easiest and cheapest way possible for their business. And that's where the buying or getting into another location comes in. So it's not that he's not concerned with it. I just think he's kind of hoping a prayer. Maybe there's a third way out, and that will solve everything for everyone, and especially us. Which I'm going to say, that's very smart. I think he's trying to outsmart people.
I agree. I think he's...
Instead of playing that game.
I think he's trying to outsmart people, but I think he knows he's trying to outsmart people, so I'm really curious to see if that's going to bite him in the butt.
I think it will, but then no matter what, he's made a decision, and he's done either way. So I guess he has to throw up his hands and say, whatever you, the people, want and believe, I'm going to still stand here and tell you that this is what we do. We're educated about it. This is why we shouldn't have to move. But he's kind of sunk either way, because it's going to go how it's going to go.
So let's segue from that into the Gary Freeze, how he visits Gary, and this is exactly what you're talking about. He's trying to outsmart them, or maybe he's trying to use leverage. He's trying to use, you guys don't want me here, I won't fight this.
Right.
Help me get somewhere else. Let's meet in the middle. Everybody's happy.
So,
which
except the Airport Road people.
Right, which he doesn't really care about the Airport Road people anyway. But I thought that was a brilliant go.
Well, that's what I mean. He's trying to be out of the box, because the box right now is the board and the one vote.
Right. We see later that Catherine tells him it was too late to do that and it's not going to work. So that's very interesting as well, because we don't necessarily see the exact timeline, as well as she would know.
I think she was just saying it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we come
I think Catherine's is smart to kind of get on the other end and be like, no, you can't. Like, she's going to be the one to, she's just smarter. Like, she'll just try to manipulate and be like, no, you can't, it's over. And it's like, so he'll either quiver and be like, oh, wait, is she right? Or he'll be like, F you,
Right.
I got it.
So then we get to Mike. Oh, Mikey.
Yeah, he's huge. This guy's come up in 5 episodes for like sound bites here and there. And in this one, he bit off more than he can chew, I'm going to say, by the time we get to him at the end.
I feel like the word hypocrite is in order.
Absolutely. And she calls the coworker, the manager at Breckenridge Cannabis Club, called him out on that, being a hypocrite.
Yeah, okay, so Mike is responsible for bringing like a $400 million industry. Was it billion or billion?
Billion.
$1 billion industry of timeshares to Breck. Now he wants the Cannabis Club to be removed from Main Street, yet he shops there.
Yes.
Hello, people.
Well,
how does that even occur? You know what? You know what the thing that sticks out for me? I'm just gonna go there.
Go
the
ahead.
big thing about this mic thing, and the big thing about this whole series for me, and again, I get who I am, what demo I lie in,
Right.
but I think that the people of the town council are actually making a worse image of Breckenridge than it would be
couplet.
to have a cannabis club on Main Street. Breckenridge, for most people out there, you even saw it when we had the transient in episode 3, I think, or 4,
Right.
whatever it was, that it was like, man, this is Breckenridge is known, yes, as nice, but also as open. It's known as this like hub for any kind of person can go there and feel welcome. So the fact
And
that they're
live.
taking and live,
Yeah.
so that visit live,
yeah.
the fact that they're taking this so far left is, to me, what's making me like feel, and I want to go to Breck, and I'm totally going because I want to see all this in person, but it's making me, that's what's changing my opinion on Breck,
Right.
rather than them having
the one shop open or,
or
whatever.
even if they had
5
4,
shops
if they
open.
figure out how to have
Agreed.
them and they trust that they can instate any laws they need to have in
Right.
order to make it not what they're scared of making it, what's the problem?
I don't
And
know.
now I have this like chip on my shoulder about these people that
Run the town.
run the town and really for no reason should. It's like the super PTA.
Right. Well, first of all, that's a good point. Like, who knows what's going to happen for the next board whenever
Right.
that happens, a yearly thing. I think it's funny because a bunch of people, even Mike Dudek, said that, what did he say? About that it's 10 years down the line he's thinking. So it's not about right now that they care
10
about
years
that.
down the line,
He
no
thinks 10
one's going to care.
It's still going to be the same. It's been the same Breckenridge for a while. It's probably
Yeah.
going to be the same later. Is that what you're saying? Right? Like,
No, I'm saying that 10 years from now, I would bet a lot of things. I won't say my life because I don't want to bet my life. But I would bet a lot of things that 10 years from today, there is a cannabis store on Main Street
Absolutely.
in Breckenridge.
Right.
So the fact that they're holding on to this inevitable change that's happening, to me, is... It's almost like a pissing contest,
totally.
you know, and it's
It
just
is, and
very
it's for most of the people. But like, I like the mayor. I think it's not for him. He's a very realistic view of it, but on both sides. Like,
yeah,
you
fair,
know, a little
that's
bit.
fair. Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to Dudek because the, CNN did a superb job
Yeah.
of leading up to this guy, because you keep wondering, why are we getting all these bites? And sometimes the show can be a little confusing when there's like random people just having one soundbite, one comment, and then they're
Right.
cutting them together, and they go together, but you're just like, okay, what story is this making? And then all of a sudden, at the end, you have the producer turn around as Mike Dudek is saying why he doesn't want them on Main Street, and that his vote is that they shouldn't be on Main Street. And the producer asks, do you buy from them, and have you been there? And he said yes. And they had this little conversation, and then he turned around and said, why do you go there? And he said, because it was convenient. And the guy was just like, really? And you saw in the show his whole demeanor changed.
Oh, his
Dudek's
hands started
he-
moving.
Yes!
You totally
He-
saw
he
his
was
nervous
like,
tics happen.
I
Yeah.
just sold myself out as a hypocrite, because that's everything I'm fighting against.
And the crazy thing is, on the whole council, he's the only person that I can somehow legitimize being there, because he is responsible
Yes.
for bringing all
Large
these people
revenue,
in.
yeah.
And not even to take the money out of the
Okay.
whole equation. He's responsible for creating space for all these people to come to the town.
Got it.
Everyone else is whoever.
Right.
So I feel, and the fact that he's the only one that kind of legit sits there for me, that he's shopping at the BCC, it's
Yep.
like, that's case in point.
It was amazing. It would be one thing, okay, if he's just shopping there and it's whatever, but for him to outright say, because it's convenient, and you're someone that's fighting that convenience, if that's
Right.
what it's about, come on, you know? Tourism, the fact that they have access to it.
Yeah, and he was like, it's real nice. The people in there are real nice.
That was like a political blunder
And
to the max.
and again,
It's real nice. People there are great.
yeah, it's like, really, dude?
Yep.
That really,
I love that.
yeah, I loved it, but it's it again shows how crazy it is that what they don't really. Like, what are they really fighting for?
No.
I really want to get inside their brain and understand what they think Breck is going to look like if there's a cannabis shop there or a couple dispensaries.
Right.
Is it going to be just stoners sleeping on the street so people have to step over bodies? Like, is that how crazy they think it's going to be?
If it's still your town,
Like,
take care of that.
like, Mike's the guy buying weed.
Right.
So he's scared of more people like him coming in to buy weed.
Exact. Good point.
It's crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
And that was the second best thing that I think happened in this episode.
All right. Well,
Right?
now we will move on
I mean,
to the first one that
was
I believe I
huge.
know what your first one would be. Miss Catherine and Mr. Brian go out for a little bite to eat.
I thought that was huge. That was the whole episode for me.
Tell me why.
And there was a lot that happened, but
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. And I know Catherine was here last week, and that 5 was a huge introductory episode for her.
Right.
But 6 just took off.
Right.
Because,
We actually see her taking off in her little jogging outfit.
yeah, really.
Nice socks.
I know, all the background, the socks and shorts, cute combo. This is where I saw how smart Brian really is. And this is where I saw Catherine kind of lose it a little bit in her hold on her, what she's trying to do and scared of losing it. And it was funny because he even said everything that I thought that was in my head that was happening throughout their conversation. And then they'd have their talking heads after. I love that he was saying everything I was thinking. And then I saw her saying everything I was thinking. I'm like, you guys think you have one up on each other either way, but you're both, you see right through each other kind of deal.
Right.
And I thought that was huge. I don't know.
No, I thought it was huge too. I think that, Brian, I don't think Brian has any idea that she has a wholesale.
But
that
he
she has
knows
a grow.
she's up to something.
Right, but he doesn't know. And
Not
that's the
what it
difference.
is.
She knows what he's up to because he
keeps
told
telling
her.
That I was shocked at. I was like, he kept asking her, and he doesn't have a game face. Like, he keeps his like jovial face on the whole time, and he's just like, so what's your angle? What do you have invested in
But
this?
in the same sense, at this point in time, what she's doing is saying, you need a campaign. Let me help you with
Right.
a campaign because you're not doing anything. So even if knowing she had something up her sleeve, no matter what that was, the yes vote helps Brian.
Yes,
I mean,
but-
I don't know. Maybe Brian's thinking that she has a space already, or that
Maybe.
who knows what he's saying. I would love to get inside Brian's head.
Also, on his side, he's thinking, dude, I got this other option over here. Maybe.
Right.
I'm waiting to get this other option. And guess what? It'll shit on you guys, for lack of a better word.
Right.
No matter what. So then I don't have to deal with the vote at all. It only affects you. I don't care if it affects you. It doesn't affect me any longer. Great. I'm scot-free. And that
Right.
comes back to what I was saying before. But that's why I don't think he cares to reveal to her, because he's already got that
But he
info
did
in.
reveal.
No, he doesn't care that he revealed it because it's already in the works. But I am still shocked that he did it. Because
Yeah.
she even said in the other meeting with the girl,
Amy?
from Amy, yes,
Gabe's
from
wife?
Soulshine,
Yeah.
Soulshine Dispensary. She said, I guessed if it was City Market.
Yeah,
I mean,
she knows.
she's smart. They're both
She's
smart.
super smart,
They're
yeah.
both like,
They're both smart. I wonder what it would be like if they teamed up.
Totally.
I wonder.
Talk about cores. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
Something like that, like a total monopoly on the whole thing, because they are. They both have a head for the business. This business particularly.
Yeah, and I don't feel that Brian. I feel that he knows or thinks that Catherine has something up her sleeve, but I don't think he's scared of it.
No.
Like
That's why he tells her.
his confidence / ego / cockiness, whichever way you want to play it, sometimes helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes hinders. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this one actually plays out.
Right.
But yeah, I do think that it's interesting that, what Catherine's saying is that she can't have it look like Breck approved the sale of marijuana, and now all of a sudden they're, no, we don't really want this anymore. Because in the end, that's going to hurt whatever dispensary she thinks that she could support through her wholesale
Right.
grow. So I feel like it's a very, very interesting play. I also wonder what Brian would have said and how Brian would have reacted if she would have said, well, I got a better grow than you. That's what's going to happen.
I think
I feel like it's smart of her to hold her cards. But I feel that
she outright lied. She outright lied, which is the only
When?
In the beginning, he said something. Oh, I mean, just the fact that he's asking, "What's your stake?" and she said, "I have absolutely none." Like I have no stake in this. It doesn't affect me, and it absolutely does.
But she does say she's scared of how it will affect the industry.
Right.
So that's
but if
what
you
she's
don't have a
scared
stake
about.
in it, what do you care? Go buy on airport.
Well, because
road.
it's clear that she's involved in the marijuana business.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's
A lie.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a white lie.
It
if
totally
the word
was.
lie is involved, it's a white lie. It's a business lie. I feel like many people. She's withholding information.
Her cards. Yeah.
Rather than lying. It's not like she's saying, well, it would be different if she was saying, we want it to be yes because I already have this spot leased out and I'm going to be 4 doors down from you and my weed's going to be better than yours, so let's do this.
Right.
You know, she's not lying in that sense, but she's a little cutthroat, dude.
Yeah.
She's a little cutthroat.
She has a plan.
She's got a plan.
Not showing it.
No. Would you?
Hell no, but I also don't. I'm too honest. Where like, if someone asked me, I'd be like, maybe, but I don't need to reveal that to you right now. And then, you know, who knows? He still revealed his, even with her saying that, and he still knew she was lying. He knew she has something.
But this is when she says it's too little, too late on the plan to move to the shopping center.
As soon as he said that, she got so mad. And she was using anything in her arsenal to say, you can't do this because you're going to basically be leaving all of us.
And you think that...
That's
you think
all
that she was
trying to do.
actually mad, or you think
Yes.
you think he? Oh, I thought you said you. I thought you said you thought she was saying that to deter him from trying to do that plan.
Both. I think she was
Okay.
actually mad because it affects her. Would it not?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, because then if the vote
well,
goes
it looks
bad,
like
it
he
doesn't
didn't do
matter.
it. Yeah. No, I get you right.
he's-
But then it's still there. It's not that the town voted no. It's that he was like, you know what, fine.
Right.
I'm pissing some people off. That's not what we're here to do with this industry. I'm going to move so that there doesn't have to be a solid no, which I feel like would hurt everyone more.
And then it's still going to affect her and them. So
Fair enough.
It's like, you know, when he's not the front runner, but he's the icon of what this vote's about.
Right.
Technically, even though it affects all of the dispensaries. So that's why she's mad, because then it removes that person, that head, that like, you know, kind of leader of why this is even happening. And now there's no one to really run a
to
campaign
open up a
or-
door for her to do something else.
Exactly.
And I wonder, I'm so curious to see how it plays out. You know, it's going to be, you know what I also
In
don't,
only 2 episodes.
I
too.
know, I can't wait. We only have 2 more episodes. 2 more episodes, people. You know, when we see that Brian doesn't take her call later in the episode, I feel that's when more of the cockiness comes in. Like, I'm not taking her call. She's just going to lie to me.
I think so too, and I think he's kind of had it. Like, he's been really forthcoming with her to this point, and I think he was kind of like, listen, if you're not going to tell me what your investment is in this, I don't need to hear it, and I don't need you to get on my back about having a campaign or...
Yeah. Do you agree with Brian and what he's doing right now, knowing that this is coming up, that there's zero campaigning? I mean, how many people... I don't know off the top of my head. I think they said 5,000 people are in the city of Breck, something like that,
don't
the
remember.
population. I could be totally wrong on that. But, you know, I would think, which is crazy to me, I would think that if this vote went to the town, that there are way more people that would say
Wanna
yes.
buy it.
If every single person in the town was forced to vote, they had to vote. A ballot was brought to their house. They had to do it right there. I feel like way majority vote would be yes.
Depends.
I feel like the culture, have been to the town,
Yes.
knowing the town, I feel like that's the way it will be. I also think that most of those people that would say yes are probably the people that won't vote too. So
Okay.
I don't know why Brian is not thinking that and not
promote
trying
them.
to get out there as soon as they made the decision to vote. I mean, I get the grow has to happen. I get all this has to happen. Or even Caitlin.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to have part in the other stuff, she can go out there and talk to people and be like, hey, we need your vote or whatever. Like, it's crazy to me that that's not happening yet.
Well, I agree with that. And that's why everyone who is on their side or wants the vote to go through is pressuring them and asking, why aren't you doing something? But when Catherine said that Brian answered that he doesn't want to spend more money, I don't get that because, like you're saying, I don't know
what it costs.
Put up flyers, like do a minimal marketing campaign. I get that. I never think that campaign should be spent a lot of money because then it becomes who's got the most money wins.
Well, because you know the town. I mean, we don't know per se yet, but I'm sure the town is putting up some sort of campaign.
The board, right?
The board, the council
against it.
Yeah,
so
because all those people have the money that they put into projects anyway, and they're all against it, and they're taking money away from Elizabeth's projects. They're probably putting it into a campaign.
Like, I'm sure they could even get a bunch of kids, or not kids,
students,
people who are big fans of the dispensary on Main Street to go around door to door who aren't doing anything anyway, and like do that,
educate, and that's the thing we see
flyers.
We see the people that are super. Everyone at the BCC seems super educated. So I feel like even if
passionate about it.
3 days of work, whatever the cost is, whatever, it's got to trump what you could lose if you have to move.
Awareness.
So that's the thing. Again, the second thing in this episode, for me, that's a little bit of a flaw in Brian is he's not aware. You know, it was the inspection of the building, and he's not necessarily aware of how important. Again, unless he really just thinks that I don't want to be there to deal with this anyway. The shopping center is a better location. Unless he's putting kind of all his eggs in that basket, which I don't. Like. Maybe we don't know yet.
Which is so funny because you're like, these are my two flaws, and I'm like, these are the two reasons I finally think he's a smart businessman. You know, it's so funny how we get that out of the same episode.
That is really funny.
It's just, I mean, the way people see things. But yeah, that's my point. I think his eggs are in that basket because I don't think he sees another way. Campaigning would help, but with him building the plant and her off taking care of business, I guess they kind of feel like they're strapped.
Yeah, but your whole business is riding on it.
I know.
I don't know.
I mean, I agree.
Smart choice. Oh, I'm gonna just be too busy to campaign.
Like you said, if Catherine's up your ass, hire her for 5 minutes. She's powerful. She'll make something happen in like 5 minutes.
That to me is. I'm curious that Brian didn't say something as to, okay, I hire you, you have to sign XYZ, which I don't think she would have signed anyway.
Right.
But XYZ that you're revealing to me that your intentions aren't to do this for me, and then you
backstab me.
Right. And again, I'm sure you can't write a contract exactly like that, but there's a way to do that so that she can't, legally. That she's doing it for him for pay, not to profit herself somehow.
This just came to me, and I know this is kind of stupid. No, it's so easy. Dude, if that vote goes to no and he's already off, that means he has no competition in that town still if he got the city market area. So that's why he doesn't care to help that because he's so putting his eggs in the basket and wanting to move.
The competition is just a half a mile away on Airport Road. He's just still closer to Breck.
Right.
He's still.
But then if he moves and everyone's allowed to go into the Airport Road, Main Street, maybe he'll lose. Nah, he thinks he'll make more over there. That's all I'm saying. That's his mentality. That's where he is right now. That's why he doesn't care because if the vote goes to no, it's better for him. Unless it makes him move, which he's not planning on moving.
I don't think if the vote goes to no, it's better for anyone.
Right.
I
don't know. I think it's better for him if he finds another location.
I think it's better he's covering his butt. But yeah, in the same sense, what if it goes to yes, then his place is open. Catherine's going to get someone else to move right in there, and they got his spot. He'd be pissed.
He'd be so pissed. But
see, I don't know that I would do that gamble.
Both.
No. You're crazy over there. Crazy.
I think he has all this money that he's
I know. He's eating Lunchables, dude. He's eating Lunchables at a Capri Sun.
That's amazing. And a Capri Sun. That was the cutest shot of him, too. He was just like, he's clearly very comfortable with the camera, so.
Yeah, they all are, which is really good. Which
really
you have to, give a shout out to the crew for making them feel that comfort so that they can be that. What else? Anything else about this episode that you wanted to talk about before we wrap up for today?
No. I think we hit most of the major points of this thing. We didn't see in this episode if he got the city market, right? Or not? So we're waiting for next episode to see if that even
No,
happens.
and I wonder if we'll have to wait too, because I really thought last episode ended kind of it's going to this vote. So I was like,
It keeps going to the vote.
Yeah,
the vote's happening December
I don't think
9th.
we're
It's
finding
like
out what I don't think we're finding
September.
out about the vote until episode 8.
But Gary Freeze with the art gallery, that's where I thought he came back in the car, but I can't really remember if he said anything about that. He was still just probably talking about the whole vote and stuff. Not really
I don't
about
think it
City
was
Market.
clear. I don't think so. You know what actually stood out to me is that I don't know if you saw some of the coming attractions for next week or for the weeks to come.
Yeah.
It had someone talking with a blurred face.
Ooh.
Which was very interesting to me because there's someone that had important enough information but didn't want to be associated, like didn't want to be on camera.
Do you remember what they said?
No, it was just like a snippet.
Huh.
So I'm very curious to see what happens there. It could be nothing and I could
Right.
totally be
No, 'cause
blowing
the
it out of
only other
proportion, but
guy-
I was like, oh, what's he going to say?
Yeah, the only other guy they shot like that where they didn't reveal was one of the contractors that Brian was working with.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it could just be like a
Interesting.
contract or something, but I did see that. And
And it gets heated.
It gets
I
gonna
saw
get
Catherine
heated.
get a little
I
heated.
love it. I can't wait for it to get heated. I
know.
love it. I love
I
this
know.
show so much. All right, well, that does it for our show here today. That was episode 6, Sneaky Smart.
Yep.
What do you think they're talking about, Sneaky Smart?
I think it was Catherine.
I think
of
so
course
too.
it is.
I think so too. Which is amazing how she's just come in to this show and, is now
Kinda taken over.
also, a
a big
major
player.
player. Yeah. All right, sweet. Well, unfortunately, Andrea is leaving the panel.
Sorry,
She is
guys.
going.
I'm really pissed.
It's okay. She is going to be traveling for the next 2 months with a job. So me and Meredith will be back again next week to finish the last 2 episodes. Hopefully, we'll have some more people call in. And
Even
where-
me.
where
I'll try
can
and
the-
call in
Yeah,
and give
call
my
in.
opinion. I think that'd be really fun.
Where can the people keep up with all the things you're doing?
You guys, you gotta follow me at Andy Fasano, ANDIFASANO, and tweet me. Like I said, stay aware of my Periscope because I do that once in a while, and Instagram, all that good stuff. And I'd love to talk to you guys about the show. I'll keep the conversation going. I just might not be
you stole
sitting
my
right
slogan.
here. Oh, did I?
Just kidding.
Sorry.
It's all good.
I mean, we're working well here. So
I know.
This is really fun.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I'm really glad that you said yes to this show.
Me too.
Because it was a very fun experience.
Yes.
I'll be back next week again. I'm Stef Z. You guys can find me at IAMSTEFZ on all the social media platforms. Keep the conversation going. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what's going on. And thanks again for all your support, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.